And again, at this point, there's no formal tornado warning for you, but you've got about 30 minutes before this storm gets really right there on the state line close to Detroit. So heads up for Lamar County, Marion County. In fact, all of Marion County, the northern half of Lamar County. I think this is when we're likely going to see possibly a tornado move your way. Spinks, anything you're seeing from East Mississippi just yet?
Richard, still watching that intense confirmed tornado down in Winston County, Mississippi. At this time, the National Weather Service in Jackson maintains the tornado emergency. In fact, 8 minutes ago at 4:22, a confirmed large, violent, and extremely dangerous tornado, and I'm using the words of the National Weather Service, was located 6 miles northwest of Stallo, Mississippi, and moving to the northeast at about 35 miles per hour. And weather spotters see the tornado over in Winston County. It's south of the Louisville area, coming very close to the Noxapater area. Once again, a tornado warning in effect for Winston County over in Mississippi. And if it continues on that track, it could ultimately end up in southern Lowndes County, Mississippi, and perhaps ultimately affecting portions of Pickens County here in western Alabama. Richard?
Yeah, we're just looking at that on radar, Spinks, and let me zoom back into that storm. And if you see there's Pickens County where Reform and Aliceville shows up on the map. We're looking at a storm that's west there, about a good ways there, but we're going to want to show you where this thing is heading. It's moving northeast just like that. So possibly places like Gordo, Reform, that's where that storm's heading in your general direction. Your tornado would be right there. Very, very, very strong evidence of a tornado on the ground. Again, it's going to be moving into Pickens County. Give you a little track there, arrow where that storm's going. Just south of Louisville, Mississippi, going to be moving just north of Macon, and then eventually into Pickens County. But I'll say this, Spinks, we've got probably, I'd say a good hour and a half before this moves into Pickens County.
Yeah, Richard, and looking at the correlation coefficient, that's obviously a very technical term. This is the dual pol radar that the National Weather Service recently installed. You can see just to the south of the Louisville area in Mississippi near Center Ridge and Calvary. That is a very strong indication on radar that we've got that large confirmed tornado on the ground. And I say it's radar indicated, it's confirmed. The spotters
there's
see
no
it.
doubt.
No doubt. We've got a tornado on the ground near Louisville, Mississippi.
Yeah, there's no doubt. In fact, if you look at the numbers here, 0.43, what that means is there's a lot of stuff in the air. The radar can't even shoot through it. There's so much stuff right there in the air. So what that is likely is debris being picked up. There's different size objects in there. Fortunately, radar, with technological advances we have now, the radar can actually pick up on where debris is within a thunderstorm. So we're seeing that right there. It looks like a big eye right there in Mississippi. That's going to be heading for Pickens County. So just a heads up for you, Pickens County. We got about an hour to hour and a half to go, and that storm's going to be moving into your area if it holds together. That's the key. If this storm holds together, because some of these have weakened as they moved into northwest Alabama, but still some of these are producing damaging straight line winds and even a few funnel cloud reports. Looks like, we're getting information that that storm we're looking at East Mississippi is nearly a mile wide, that tornado.
That's right, Richard. In fact, we're seeing reports now of 3/4 of a mile wide, that tornado down in Winston County in Mississippi. And as it continues tracking off to the northeast at about 35 miles per hour, communities downwind of it would be Brooksville and Macon, Mississippi, Bigby Valley, also Prairie Point and Meshulaville in Noxubee County, Mississippi. All those areas, if you happen to know someone in those communities that I've just called out, I would strongly encourage you to call them, let them know that a large confirmed tornado is headed their way.
All right, we got Daniel Sparkman, who's over in the newsroom, that's got some more information. Daniel?
Yeah, Richard, we've got some more images from Mississippi now from WMC. They're up in Memphis, but this is out of Tupelo. You can see there a Tupelo police car. This is another business that has just been destroyed by the tornado. We're starting to see a lot of these images and just can't really get get them all to you. WMC out of Memphis is the credit for this image out of Tupelo, Mississippi. We're starting to see, I'm trying to find you images of the Louisville tornado right now because it looks very large. I'm looking at it on the Weather Channel over there behind me actually, but I'm trying to get you a live shot. We have storm spotters out there via our CNN feed. They are on that storm and they're actually behind it, but it looks like it's rain wrapped to a degree, so we're not able to really see it from that vantage point. But working on getting you some images as these storms continue to approach the state line, Richard.
Yeah, Daniel, I do want to mention we've got a brand new tornado watch, or at least an extension of the tornado watch for Tuscaloosa, Greene, and Sumter counties. So again, an extension of the tornado watch until 9 o'clock tonight for Greene, Sumter, and Tuscaloosa counties. That does include the metros of Tuscaloosa, Utah, down into Livingston and Geiger. And again, that's a tornado watch until 9 o'clock. So heads up for you for, again, Tuscaloosa County, Greene County, Sumter counties, Walker County, Coleman counties, points northwest. We're under the gun for the potential for tornadoes over the next several hours. So again, we have a tornado watch until 9 o'clock. Again, I'm going to tell you all the counties, Fayette, Lamar, Marion, Pickens, Walker, Winston, Greene, Sumter, and Tuscaloosa. We didn't have a tornado watch for those counties until just now. In fact, let's see, looks like just a few minutes ago that watch was extended to include those counties. So that's kind of the latest information. You can get lots of updates right here on Facebook, Twitter, and our weather blog. Go to WVUA-TV.com and you can get nonstop updates there. In fact, we're updating our online sources just about nonstop. So information there, and if you have any pictures you want to send to us, you can send those to us to weather at WVUA-TV.com. You can send them to us through Twitter, Facebook, or email. Any way you can send those, just send them to us. We don't want you in harm's way, but if the storm passed you by, you get some damage, certainly let us know, because we need the eyes and ears of folks out there to tell us what's happening with these thunderstorms and move into Alabama. We got Spinks. Spinks, what's an update you're seeing over there?
Yeah, we're also looking at a mesoscale discussion that's just been issued by the Weather Prediction Center. They are noting that there's going to be an increasing threat of flash flooding after sunset, and really the entirety of northwest Alabama is included in this new product. They are noting that we could have upwards of 4 inches of rain in a short amount of time here in northwestern Alabama. This discussion includes the city of Tuscaloosa. It also includes places like Addison, Arley, Jasper, all the way up to Hamilton. So the potential for flash flooding, Richard, appears to be increasing, at least according to the Weather Prediction Center.
Yeah, and we're going over some pictures of this tornado that's actually over in East Mississippi. I want to show you that. Again, this is some really incredible stuff we're looking at. This is over in East Mississippi, the tornado that appears to be about 3/4 of a mile wide to 1 mile wide. It's a classic wedge type of tornado over there in East Mississippi. That's the one we're talking about for Pickens County. Heads up for you. If this tornado doesn't weaken, it's going to be moving over you in about an hour. So western Pickens County, heads up, you got about an hour. This tornado is going to be moving over you pretty quickly. Here's our Tuscaloosa tower cam, and we got it facing west, and for an obvious reason, our weather's coming from the west right now. So if you're watching us around Tuscaloosa, even though we're issued under the watch, the tornado watch, we got a little while to go before Tuscaloosa is actually impacted. So we got a while to go. If you're watching us, Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, looks like quite some time before that watch is issued. Some more pictures we're getting, and this is frightening stuff, quite frankly, over in Tupelo, Mississippi. Some true devastation, and this is from the TV station over in Tupelo, the local TV station there, that's showing us some of this damage, and clearly this was a violent tornado that went through there. That storm has weakened and moved into North Alabama. In fact, it's that particular storm still producing a tornado warning over in northern Alabama for the Huntsville market, but just kind of some of the images we're getting across Mississippi, including Tupelo, just kind of shows you what these storms can do. So as these storms move east, I just want to give you heads up. What's happening in Mississippi will be happening likely northwest Alabama shortly.
Yeah, Richard, and we've still got a severe thunderstorm warning, I should say, in Marion County. In fact, that warning is about to expire. However, I do note that in the northern part of Alabama, this is out of our viewing area, but the eastern portion of Lauderdale County, northern Lawrence County, and now the western portion of Limestone County, including communities like Rogersville and also Town Creek. They are now under a tornado warning. So that's a tornado warning in the northern part of the county. We've also got these tornado warnings back in Mississippi. Of course, Winston County has been under the gun now for about 30 minutes, and now the National Weather Service in Jackson actually now just issuing a brand new tornado emergency for northern Noxubee County in eastern Mississippi. Also, this includes the county that Starkville is located in over in eastern Mississippi, and Louisville right now under the gun, or excuse me, Louisville I should say, in eastern Mississippi under the gun from that confirmed tornado on the ground. We've been seeing reports via Twitter from storm spotters that that storm is still producing a tornado, and the National Weather Service over in Jackson has reflected that by pulling the trigger on a very rare tornado emergency for 3 counties in eastern Mississippi. Richard?
Yeah, I do want to show you this. This is a picture from Tupelo, Mississippi, and again, this is some of that, frankly, scary stuff that's happening over in East Mississippi. This is from Tupelo, the local TV station there, and again, what's going to happen, some of these storms that are producing tornadoes could do damage like that in Alabama. In fact, I do want to mention the National Weather Service saying that storm near Amory, Mississippi is going to be crossing the state line in less than 20 minutes into Lamar County. All right, so heads up, northern Lamar County. You got less than 20 minutes to go in this tornadic circulation. We'll be moving over to you. We've got Daniel over in the newsroom. Daniel, what's going on?
Yeah, Richard, actually, I wanted you to take a look at this, too. I finally got the image of the tornado heading through Louisville, Mississippi, and that's going to be on the CG machine if we can get that taken. You can actually see it looks like a large wedge tornado. There you go, Richard. You can see that and talk along with me here. This is a tornado that was on the ground in Louisville, and you were mentioning that. I just wanted to bring this to everybody's attention.
Yeah, Daniel, that's really concerning, that image there. It just kind of shows you what these storms are doing in Mississippi. And, you know, we've had events before where, you know, not much happens. And, you know, you get these tornado warnings, nothing ever happens. But what's concerning is that we're seeing these reports of these large tornadoes with these storms. And I'm going to take you into this storm here. And, Daniel, you know, this is a really, really concerning storm. This could be moving towards Pickens County.
Yeah, we're watching closely as that does move through. We're trying to get in touch with our EMA directors and then, of course, our reporters who are out in the field watching this very closely. We haven't gotten any new storm reports, but as you were seeing those images from WMC, we could take a look at some of those out of Tupelo once again and give you an idea of the power of these storms that are coming through. You can see here's some images, a shell station with its awning damaged there from WMC. Here you can see the bottom, the tail end of the wall cloud there as it started to develop, and things are just looking pretty rough for our folks over in Tupelo. Our friends over there having a tough time right now. We really don't know the extent of that damage, but we do know that these images tell a big story as to the power of these tornadoes that we're seeing. Of course, yesterday, parts of Arkansas had 14 or 16 deaths related there. The state of Mississippi is now, I should mention, under a state of emergency. The governor over there issuing that earlier today once the tornado started touching down. But these images really tell a good story, Richard.
Yeah, and one thing we're concerned about is what these storms are doing back in Mississippi, and the National Weather Service is talking about that storm that's about to move into Lamar County and Marion County. Looks like they're thinking about issuing a tornado warning for Lamar and Marion County. Again, we're in conversation with the National Weather Service constantly here. And, you know, we've got a partnership of what's happening and trying to get you the latest information. And I think what's about to happen is we're going to see a Lamar County and Marion County go under tornado warning pretty shortly, Spinks.
Richard, that tornado warning that we are looking at in Monroe County, Mississippi, that is the county just to the west of Lamar County here in Alabama. That's going to come very close to the Columbus, Mississippi radar site. So for those of you that are familiar with the KGWX Columbus, Mississippi radar site on U.S. Highway 278. If you are near there or know someone near there that lives there perhaps, go ahead and give them a call. Let them know that we've got a potential tornado moving in to that area. And the communities downwind of that would be impacted potentially over the next hour or so here in Alabama would be Detroit, also Sulligent, Beaverton, potentially Hamilton, which is in Marion County, and also Guin down the line. So those are the communities that could potentially be impacted from this potential tornado currently located in Monroe County, Mississippi. We've also got this confirmed tornado down in central Mississippi, currently in Winston County. It's now moving toward the northern portions of Noxubee County, Richard, in Mississippi.
Yeah, we keep getting these damage reports from Tupelo, Mississippi, and it looks like there's going to be certainly the threat for loss of life and injuries with the tornado that moved through Tupelo. And again, this is from Tupelo, Mississippi, from the local storm spotters in that area that have gotten this damage. And you know, we don't like to see stuff like this because, you know, we'd rather see the tornado warnings that don't do anything, but unfortunately some of these tornadoes in East Mississippi have been doing quite a bit of damage. So it looks like we do have some issues with that. We got Travis Leader, who is live over in Fayette, Alabama. Travis, what's happening over there in Fayette right now?
Hey Richard, we are currently in standby mode here at the Fayette County EMA. Now, the storms that are of most concern to the people here are the ones that are in the Louisville, Mississippi area, as if they continue going on that track, they would eventually get to Pickens County and then Fayette County. We are currently still overcast skies. There's a light sprinkle and there's a strong wind coming from the south, but right now the severe weather is still quite a bit away from us, which means people in Fayette County and the city of Fayette, they still have time to prepare, get their tornado safety precautions ready, just in case these storms are able to hold up as they cross the state line and possibly enter Fayette County. Live in Fayette, Travis Leader, WVUA News. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Travis, for the report over in Fayette. You know, obviously, Travis is going to be under the gun of some of these storms in the next couple of hours as they do slowly move into Alabama. We got Daniel Sparkman, who is live over in the newsroom with some updates. Daniel? Yeah, Richard, I'm looking at the system going on in Colbert and Lauderdale County now. There's still a tornado warning in that part of Alabama, and the EMA up there in Colbert County is now reporting a large tornado on the ground in Colbert County. If we could take a radar possibly and maybe get a wide shot of that, so we can see that tornado moving east-northeast heading toward Elkmont and Blackburn at this hour. So our folks up in North Alabama need to take shelter as well. Just wanted to mention that because the EMA does say once again that there is a large tornado on the ground near the Colbert-Lauderdale County line moving off to the east-northeast about to affect Elkmont and Blackburn. Richard? Yeah, Daniel, while I've got you in there, are you hearing any reports closer to Marion County, any wind damage reports? We had a severe thunderstorm warning there earlier. Let me look just off the hand. I'm going to look real fast. I haven't seen anything off the top of my head, but I can check with the Marion County EMA. No, they are not. They haven't put out any reports in the last 35 minutes other than to talk about that severe thunderstorm warning that was issued at issued earlier today. All right, thanks, Daniel. We're looking at the storm over in East Mississippi that's about to move into Lamar and Marion counties. And in fact, let's look at the velocity, and there's definitely indications there's rotation over Amory, Mississippi. The National Weather Service has not issued a tornado warning yet, but I would not be shocked that we get one that they were talking about. They're watching for the latest scan or two before they pop a tornado warning for Lamar County, Marion counties, but so far, we don't have a tornado warning for those particular counties, but again, that could change at just about any time, so I wouldn't be shocked. Big heads up for northern Lamar County and Marion County. Looks like we could be having a tornado coming for you. So again, it's just heads up. Place like Hamilton, Hackleburg, Sulligent, Detroit. We're talking the far northwest corner of Alabama in our coverage area that could be under the gun. Spink, so what are you seeing over there?
Yeah, we're still looking at this tornado near Amory right now. So certainly, if you know someone that lives in Amory, Mississippi, call them and let them know. This is the last minute before this potential tornado affects the Amory area, let them know that this is on their doorstep in that community. The National Weather Service over in Jackson maintains the tornado emergency for this cell that is in central Mississippi. In fact, we'll go ahead and zoom out and zoom back in on our radar.
Sorry to interrupt you. Before we go there, I want to show you that. Here's what that storm looks like right now.
Okay, so here's a confirmed image from someone near Louisville, Mississippi.
Over there now, storm spotters over there looking at this, and that's a tornado they're saying right there. And I know it's hard to see, Spinks, in the image,
right?
But they're saying that's actually a large tornado behind those trees.
So now this tornado emergency is confirmed. We now have a visual of this tornado on the ground just to the northeast of Louisville in Mississippi, and it's going to continue moving to the northeast at about 35 miles per hour, Richard.
All right, let me go back over to radar, and again, this is the storm we're concerned about for portions of northern Pickens County, Lamar County for about an hour from now. That's when that supercell thunderstorm is going to be moving your direction. We look at the velocity with that, and there's no doubt there's some rotation in there. In fact, as we've seen, there's confirmed tornado on the ground. Actually looks like there could be 2 areas of rotation now developing, possibly 2 tornadoes. We're waiting on the next radar scan to come around with this, but again, this is the thunderstorm near Louisville, just west of Macon, Mississippi. So let me see this new scan. It looks like that's the latest one. So again, there could be actually 2 tornadoes developing. Let me show you where this is. There's this one right here, and there could be another one developing back here. And again, both of these are tracking in that direction, northeast. One of these will likely win the battle of grabbing the instability and become a more dominant tornado. So we could actually have 2 tornadoes on the ground at the same time that would be moving towards the northwest corner of Pickens County.
Yeah, Richard, and we are looking at the correlation coefficient. I know I keep going back to that. That's the...
yeah, let me pull that up.
Yeah, let's go ahead and look at that on radar, because you can clearly see the debris ball on radar just to the northeast of Louisville, I should say. It's actually just to the southwest of a small community in Mississippi called Bethedon, as I believe how you pronounce that community.
Yeah, and Webster, too, is in there. Yeah, that's problematic, Spinks, because that's what's coming our direction. We keep seeing these pictures from East Mississippi that are they're these large tornadoes. They're moving in the direction of West Alabama, and some of these tornadic thunderstorms could really produce some problems. Let me go back over to radar. I know dual pole can be kind of confusing to folks at home watching, but we're basically looking at was the debris inside that thunderstorm. So let me just go into Marion County. Let's do a track here. Here's the possible tornado that's going to be moving northeast like that. It's moving northeast at 50 miles per hour. Or 55 miles per hour, so that gives you Detroit community about 508. So you got about 20 minutes or less for Detroit before the circulation moves over you. Then shortly after that, it's going to be moving over Hamilton as this storm moves off towards the northeast. So we're at least looking at the potential for a tornado to move there, and we're still waiting for the National Weather Service to see if they're going to issue that tornado warning or not over in northwest Alabama. Let me give you a wide perspective, because we've got a lot of storms in Mississippi that we're concerned about. And I know we've been talking about Mississippi for a while, but we just, the threat has been so significant over there, we want to continue to inform you of what the latest situation is. And, you know, one thing we're seeing, Spinks, is we had these individual supercells all over Mississippi a few hours ago. Now it's turning more into a line with these embedded supercells. Hopefully this trend will continue. We'll see some of these storms weaken.
Yeah, Richard, and one thing that you can't see on the radar there, these storms are producing a lot of lightning. As a matter of fact, over the states of Tennessee, Mississippi, and Alabama, we've had nearly 40,000 lightning strikes in the past hour. So quite a bit of lightning with these storms. That's another concern as all of this begins moving into central Alabama.
Yeah, here's another image, and this is why we tell you not to get in a car. This is from Tupelo, Mississippi, how cars are just thrown around. There's a van sitting on top of a car there. I mean, you obviously don't want to be in your car, especially in the red car, because you got a van sitting on top of you. But this is the situation that, you know, we don't want you in a car. We don't want you in a mobile home, and the reason for that is because they're lighter weight objects. They're not very secure. So we can have these problems. So this is what, you know, we've been harping over this, but we want you to do this. We got to take this stuff serious as it comes in. we want you in the lowest floor of your home, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible if a tornado comes over you, because quite frankly, it would be easy for a tornado to develop in the atmosphere we're in right now.
Yeah, Richard, and I've zoomed into Limestone County in northern Alabama. Communities like Oakland, Lentzville, Shanghai, O'Neill, Persimmon Grove, Lakewood, and the larger community of Athens in Limestone County. If you know anyone in that part of the world, I would strongly encourage you to call them, let them know that we've got this potential tornado on their doorstep near Coxey, Alabama, west of Huntsville, and of course this is north of the Birmingham area. But any of the communities that I just called out, the velocity on that storm maxing out at 160 miles per hour gate to gate, so some significant concern now. It seems like entering the Huntsville area, Richard.
Yeah, these storms are all over the place across Alabama and Mississippi. So, you know, we're talking about North Alabama, the Huntsville area, and eventually these cells are going to be moving more into central Alabama. It's going to be a really long duration event because these storms are slowly sagging southeastward. The individual thunderstorms themselves are actually moving northeast at a pretty good clip. And let's look at the velocity on this storm that's going to be moving over Detroit. You see the tornado warning right up against the state line. And the velocity, there's definitely indications of rotation, but it seems to be a little more broadened out than it was earlier.
Yeah, Richard, and we've got now confirmed reports of damage in Louisville, Mississippi due to that tornado. Of course, we've been telling you about that over the last few minutes down in Winston County. So now confirmed reports of damage in the Louisville community in Winston County in Mississippi. That cell is going to continue moving off to the northeast at about 35 to 40 miles per hour and ultimately could end up in Pickens County here in western Alabama over the next hour or so as it continues tracking off to the northeast.
Yeah, and what we're looking at, this storm's actually tripping a TVS tornado vortex signature, and you know, the possibility of a tornado is definitely there in this circulation. And you see a lot of these because there's so much rotation within that thunderstorm that's actually tripping several of these icons that are popping up here, and it's likely there's a tornado within this thunderstorm. In fact, we're getting confirmed reports that one's heading for northern Pickens County here over the next several hours. So next 1 to 2 hours, quite frankly. So northern Pickens County, Lamar County heads up for that particular storm. We've got this tornado warning right up on the state line and of Lamar County and Marion County, but so far no word if they're going to issue that tornado warning.
Yeah, that's right, Richard. And another thing that we've got to keep in mind, as these thunderstorms move into our area, they are dumping tremendous amounts of rain. In fact, in Franklin County, which is just to the northeast of the cell that we're watching that could enter northern Alabama with that tornado warning, the cell that's now in Limestone County produced upwards of 3 inches of rain just in the past hour. In fact, you can see that now on our live radar. Lots of rain with these storms as they move over Mississippi and Alabama. And it seems like this is just verification of that flash flood watch that's in effect for our entire viewing area. In fact, our northern Alabama counties, in fact, no, this is a bit north of our viewing area, Franklin, Colbert, Lauderdale, and Lawrence County now under a flash flood warning. So the first flash flood warning of the day in those counties. Richard?
Yeah, so let me set the stage again for Alabama because a lot of folks are watching all over Alabama kind of warning what's happening at your house, and I'm going to zoom this radar way out so we can see everybody out there. There's a line of supercell type of thunderstorms. They're getting more involved of a line, which is good, but they're still producing tornadoes. There's one right up against the state line of Lamar County and Marion County, but everybody out there in Alabama, south of Hamilton and east of Hamilton, you're okay right now, but that's going to be changing pretty quickly. This line here you see that stretches well back towards Jackson. There's individual rotations in this that are producing some tornadoes. Some of our most concerning tornadoes is right over here over East Mississippi. This is one of those long track supercells that's moving in that direction right there towards northern Pickens County and southern Lamar County and Fayette counties. Fayette County is where Travis Leader is now, so we'll get some reports from him as that storm gets
Richard,
closer to us.
Not to interrupt you, but we've now got a tornado warning that has just been issued for Lamar and Marion counties. So our first tornado warning here in Alabama.
All right, we're going to stay with this now. We were going to go to the 5, but it is now a situation where we got to stay on air and let you know what is happening, as we now have a tornado warning for Lamar County and Marion counties in Alabama. And we're just talking about that storm. We've been kind of waiting on the National Weather Service to let us know if they're going to actually put out a warning for this. And Spinks is getting the update on the blog and social media too. You can see that if you go to WVUA-TV.com, click Weather Blog. And here's a brand new scan from our radar. And there's definitely indications of a tornado right here just north of the radar site. In fact, this thing is really close to the radar dome that's just north of Columbus, Mississippi. If you live in Detroit, along Highway 17, Hamilton, up to Hackleburg, this tornado is coming towards you. And I don't believe we have confirmation of a tornado with this, do we?
We don't at this time. This is a radar-indicated tornado that's moving in from just to the southeast of Smithville, Mississippi. But communities like Detroit, Hamilton, Hackleburg, all now in a tornado warning.
All right, and it looks like we're getting some reports back near Amory, Mississippi, some damage from this thunderstorm, and Amory, Mississippi is right here. And that little core right there is awfully suspicious north of the radar site, and that could be actually debris. We're going to watch that pretty closely as it moves into West Alabama. So if you're watching us in Detroit, you've got about 5 minutes before this tornado moves over you. And I say tornado, there's not a confirmed tornado with this, but likely I would say there's a pretty good chance this thing's producing a tornado based off some of the damage we've had back in Mississippi. Again, there's Hamilton, and let me span this view northward just a little bit so you can see all of Marion County. There's Hackleburg, there's Hamilton, Highway 43, 78, the meet up in Marion County and Hamilton. The tornadic circulation there, the supercell thunderstorm, which is just a beefed up version of a storm, is about to cross into Alabama. There it is there. It's going to move in this general direction, just like this, right towards downtown Hamilton, right towards Hackleburg. And we all know back on April 27th, Hackleburg extremely devastated by an EF5 tornado. Can't say that's going to happen again this time, but you're under a tornado warning. There is a threat that's coming your way. Whether this is a violent tornado or not, we just don't know that yet. But we're going to find out pretty quickly as this moves in a more populated area. Because where it is right now, really sparsely populated part of extreme East Mississippi. So once it moves into Alabama, we're going to get that confirmation likely if there's a tornado here, especially gets near Detroit and Hamilton. So again, those are the communities in the path of this particular tornado. Let me pan this radar down a little bit so you can see exactly where we are talking about in reference to where the tornado is. And we're going to look at the velocity with this. And there's some tight rotation there just west of Detroit. So again, a heads up for Detroit and Hamilton, Hackleburg, those communities, you are under the gun.
Yeah, Richard, and we do note that one of the Huntsville TV affiliates is now reporting that there's been apparent tornado damage on Highway 72 near Athens. Now, on the radar, we're looking at a different storm that's moving into northern Lamar and Marion counties here in Alabama. However, if you're in Athens or know someone in the Athens community, please let them know that they've got a tornado on the way.
All right, so we got a few tornadoes here that we're dealing with simultaneously. One of those is over in extreme North Alabama near the Athens community, and then the one we're concerned about right now is actually about to move over to Detroit and Hamilton. Here's some times on the screen. We've got Hackleburg around 5:30, so about 30 minutes for you. Hackleburg, you're going to be impacted. Hamilton at 5:20, so Hamilton, you've got 20 minutes before this tornado or possible tornado moves over you. Hopefully we don't get confirmation of a tornado with this, but we can't guarantee that. Again, Hamilton, Hackleburg, Detroit, and Hodges, and the western community. If you're watching us there, that's where the potential tornado is going to be moving across. And it's moving northeast, pretty good clip at, let's see, 35 miles per hour. This storm's actually slowed down, Spinks, so that's one thing we noticed. The storm has actually slowed down a little bit.
Yeah, and you know what? We're putting an update on the blog right now about this new tornado warning. I encourage you, if you have any pictures or receive a picture from a family member in Mississippi, be sure to pass that along to us if you want it to be here on WVUA to show all of our viewers in central Alabama. You can tweet us at WVUA-TV. We are also on Facebook and Instagram.
All right, it is just 5 o'clock, or just after 5 o'clock. I'm Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott along Spinks Megason and the entire WVUA weather and news team are watching a severe weather event unfold across Alabama. You're watching us on WVUA Tuscaloosa, Northport, WUA Birmingham, WVZ down in Moundville, also WJMY in Demopolis. So some of the cable affiliates, you can see us, or satellite down there, some of the stations. So we are definitely keep an eye on a dangerous situation across our state. Fortunately, in our viewing area, we don't have any damage, and the reason for that is because we're still waiting on this tornado to move into Alabama. So we got a little while to go, and I'm talking only a very little while, about 3 or 4 minutes before it moves into Alabama. The potential tornado we are watching really closely looks to hit a very heavily populated part of the state, and that includes Hamilton, Detroit, Hackleburg. Hamilton being the biggest town in the path of this. I want to show you a wide perspective of the watch warning map across Alabama. And again, the counties in that yellow shade, that's that tornado watch until 9 o'clock tonight. The counties are seeing that red shade, that polygon, that's the tornado warning for northern Lamar and Marion County over in far northwest Alabama. We've also got more tornado warnings back in Mississippi that we are keeping a very close eye on, so we've got a long way before this does end across Alabama. Here's some information. If you're watching us again over in Marion County and Lamar County, we want you in that lowest floor of your home, away from windows. We want you in a small interior room in a closet, and you don't want to be in a car, and you don't want to be in a mobile home. So that's key ingredients there for a disaster. So we want you in those safe places right now across northern Lamar County and Marion County. Spinks, if you want to check real quick, we have any updates coming out of that storm?
You know what, Richard? I'm actually completing the blog post right now, putting on that brand new tornado warning for northern Lamar and Marion counties. However, our southern storm, this is an update from the National Weather Service about 8 minutes ago now. A tornado warning remains in effect for northwestern Noxubee County, Mississippi, and that tornado is still confirmed. So spotters looking at it right now. That storm has apparently done some damage in Louisville, Mississippi, Richard.
Yeah, and those storms of concern, Spinks, is down here over east central Mississippi, and those will be moving into Pickens County and Lamar County, southern Lamar County here at some point. And again, there's very distinct evidence of rotation back here west of Macon, Mississippi. Again, that's not an official tornado warning for Alabama just yet, but again, these are some of the thunderstorms that will be moving into Alabama over the next hour or so. So a heads up for Pickens County. Looks like you've got certainly a dangerous thunderstorm moving your way, northern Pickens County, and then southern Lamar County, Fayette counties. If that storm holds together, that's where it's going. So again, a heads up for you. That's where that thunderstorm's going. So let me zoom into this area of rotation that's just west of Detroit, the bird community. Let's look at the velocity with this. And right now, we're not really seeing a huge indication of rotation, which is good. But we're definitely going to keep an eye on this area right here because it is very, very suspicious.
And I just see this coming in. We now have a new severe thunderstorm warning for a portion of Marion County. Of course, the tornado warning continues there. However, the National Weather Service in Birmingham has opted to issue a severe thunderstorm warning, and I bet that's going to be this northern flank of the storm. In fact, it is. You can see the polygon on our radar system now. That's going to be for the northwestern portion of Marion County here in central Alabama. Scottsville included in that warning, Richard.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to issue that because of the chance for damaging straight-line winds and large hail on the very northern part of Marion County and northwestern part of Marion County, just to kind of cover everybody out there that's not within that tornado warning polygon. And again, there's some other tornadic storms happening across North Alabama around Athens. We've got quite a bit of damage up that way with that storm. We've got other storms of concern that are back in East Mississippi. It looks like we've even got some more storms back towards Jackson that are producing tornado warnings. In fact, and I know this is way over in Mississippi, but another dangerous-looking storm that's over there west of Jackson, Mississippi. So this is what we got to deal with for a few hours here as these do track off towards the northeast at about 40 to 50 miles per hour. Some of these storm speeds have slowed down a little bit. We're going to do a track on this storm that's moving into Lamar County. And again, it's tracking northeast. Again, there's Hamilton, Hackleburg area. We're talking about around 535 for Hackleburg, Hamilton at about 524. If you're watching us in these areas across the far northern part of Lamar County, there's your possible tornado right there. That's where your danger zone's going to be. And then north of that, you got large hail falling in this sector of the storm that will likely track just north of Hamilton and the Hackleburg area. But you get this little appendage down here. That's called a hook echo, and this could easily produce a tornado. In fact, the storm really looks intense at the moment. In fact, it looks like it could easily be producing a tornado. And based on the atmosphere that's out there now, I wouldn't take the storm lightly. We just saw what's happened in East Mississippi, not far away from here back in Tupelo. Some of these storms are really done a significant number of damage back towards the west. In fact, there's Tupelo, Mississippi right there in reference to that one storm. Now, this is a different storm that produced a tornado in Tupelo. That one has actually moved over to North Alabama around the Athens area, still producing a tornado. But this one here is another cell kind of by itself that's just clipping northern Lamar County. If you're driving up near Detroit on Highway 17 north of Detroit, we want you to pull off the road, let the storm pass by because it could easily drop a tornado at about any minute. Hamilton, there you are there. Hackleburg sits over there. Haleyville, you're over in Winston County. You're officially not in the tornado warning, but you're close to it. If you're watching us in Haleyville, let's just keep an eye on it. There's a Lynn community over in Winston County, Carbon Hill, Jasper down there, Fayette's down here. You're all okay with this particular storm, but there's more coming your way down the road. But we do have definitely this storm we're concerned about over in northern Lamar County, Marion County in Alabama.
Yeah, Richard, and let's talk about some of the roadways that people should be avoiding at this time because, of course, you don't want to be in a mobile home, but you certainly don't want to be in a car as well with this potential tornado approaching northern Lamar and Marion counties. So that would mean that Highway 78, which is the future I-22 Corridor X road that runs in Marion County, they're included, or that road, I should say, is included in this tornado warning from basically the Alabama-Mississippi line all the way down to Guin. So no travel is advised on U.S. Highway 78, which is the future Interstate 22 corridor. Also included would be State Highway 17. That runs down from Hamilton all the way down to Detroit, which is in northern Lamar County. And also U.S. Highway 278 from Natural Bridge. Of course, Natural Bridge is in Winston County all the way over to the Mississippi line. No travel is advised on those roadways at this time because of this tornado warning. If you know someone that's on the road, perhaps about to go through those areas, please call them, let them know they need to pull over and wait for this storm to pass over the next few minutes.
It's really interesting, this radar loop across Mississippi. And earlier today, if you're watching us, we had numerous supercells across Mississippi, and these were violent long-track tornadoes. Notice what happened to these. They tracked across Mississippi right here. Most of them are getting involved into a line of thunderstorms. Now, we expect this to happen. We get this big line of thunderstorms slowly work southeast across our coverage area, and that's what's really going to produce that flash flooding issue. That's why we're under a flash flood watch. But what is good out of this is, as this gets more into a squall line type of situation, the tornado threat will slowly drop. Now, that being said, we still got a big risk of tornadoes, especially for areas near and north of Interstate 20 over the next 3 or 4 hours. Now, if these supercells all get meshed in that squall line, then you get more of a wind damage threat with spin-up tornadoes. But right now, we got a couple of main supercells still out there that are tracking into parts of our coverage area. And in fact, one of those right now, this supercell is moving into our coverage area at the moment. It's right on the state line. There's Detroit, there's Hamilton. And let me zoom into this storm a little bit closer and show you what is happening here. Again, there's Detroit. There's your possible tornado. There's Barnesville, the western community. Highway 78 right there. That's going to be crossing Highway 78 in about 10 to 20 minutes. Here's where your tornado would be. This is your inflow notch, and by the way, there's the bird community. Here's your inflow notch. Is where that warm, moist air is kind of fueling this thunderstorm. You got the rain that wraps around, and your tornado will be right in here, right on top of the Riggins community over in Mississippi. Again, here's the state line of Alabama. Mississippi sits back here. There's Lamar County. Most of Lamar County, about 90% of Lamar County, will be fine with this particular storm. There's another one, though, that's coming your way, and that's over in East Mississippi. This one supercell thunderstorm, though, is going to be moving over Byrd, Barnesville, Weston, Hamilton's back here. Hackleburg's a little bit further off towards the northwest. Just want to kind of zoom into this thing and show you exactly what we're talking about. Again, there's the possible tornado moving into Alabama. Again, that's for northern Lamar County, the southern and central part of Marion County. Here comes a brand new scan. And here's your possible tornado right on the state line at this triple point of Lamar County, Marion County, and the East Mississippi state line. So that's where your tornado is. If you're watching us near and north of Detroit, we want you in your safe place. That includes the lowest floor of your home. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. All right. Now, we don't know if there's a tornado here. We don't have reports of a tornado on the ground like we did that other storm. Hopefully, this will be a trend of weakening, but we can't guarantee that for Weston, Barnesville, Byrd, and also towards Hamilton and Hackleburg. So treat this like this is a tornado on the ground. We've seen too much damage in Mississippi not to take this storm serious. Spinks, we have anything new?
We do. This is up in Huntsville. We now have a tornado emergency for portions of Limestone County. Of course, that's just north of our viewing area, but of course, a lot of people in central Alabama have connections to people that live in Athens and communities in central Limestone County. They are now under a tornado emergency. In fact, we're going to go ahead and zoom in on radar to this thunderstorm, and it doesn't look too impressive on the reflectivity. However, with that said, the correlation coefficient, which is another radar product, is showing a debris ball, and we've got a confirmed tornado on the ground according to the National Weather Service office in Huntsville, just north of the Athens area.
Yeah, Spinks, you got to think here now, we're looking at the radar site out of Birmingham and Columbus, which is a long way, so we're shooting pretty high up in the storm, several thousand feet up, so you're not going to really see that well-defined signature this far away unless we put on the Huntsville radar, and we'll do that here a little bit later. Let's see, some more reports we're looking at back in East Mississippi. I'll tell you this storm looks like it's reorganizing. Just west of the Pickens County and Lamar County state line. You see back here near west of Macon, Mississippi. Let's look at the velocity on this. And again, this is certainly indication of a tornado there. In fact, very high indication of a tornado there near Louisville, Mississippi, moving off towards the northeast. And to give you a storm track, that's moving right towards places like Reform, Gordo, also Kennedy, Sulligent, Vernon, down towards Millport, places like that. You're under the gun for this potential tornado. Now, there's no tornado warning for you just yet, but I'll say this, that storm looks really impressive.
Yeah, Richard, and I think what's happened, looking at the velocity product with this same storm that's back in Winston County, Mississippi, it seems as if we had the tornado that went through Louisville, Mississippi, and then we've got some development on the backside just to the east of that community. So the tornado emergency is still in place for Winston and Noxubee counties in Mississippi.
Yeah, we should see a new warning come out pretty soon for the Columbus metro area with that particular storm and point south. And again, that's one of concern, really seeing some good velocity off of that with our radar. Our tornado warning we've got in our coverage area is this one storm that we're dealing with right now. And again, that's moving into Marion County. And while we look at this storm, kind of dissect what's happening here, we got Lynn Brooks who has some information, some new closings. Lynn, what's happening?
Well, actually, Richard, I want to talk about shelters that are available. If you don't have a safe place to be in the Tuscaloosa area, you still have some time to make your way to a safe shelter. Several area locations are now open. They opened as of 5 o'clock this evening. The Tuscaloosa City Schools, in a partnership with the City of Tuscaloosa, opened 2 of its locations, Tuscaloosa Magnet School and also the Tuscaloosa Career and Technology Academy. Now, on the University of Alabama campus, if you're a student, faculty, or staff member, there's 2 locations where you can take shelter tonight. You can go to the Gorgas Library or the University of Alabama Rec Center. So The locations on your screen are all considered to be safe locations, but you do want to go ahead and travel now ahead of a tornado warning. Officials, of course, always urging you to stay in your safe place unless you don't have a safe place. In that case, take shelter at one of these area locations. Don't try to ride out the storm, for example, in a mobile home, because we are looking at a very serious weather threat for this evening, and we'll be dealing with this threat throughout the evening hours. So if you're in the Tuscaloosa area, make sure that you take this seriously and take this opportunity now to take you and your family to a safe place. Also want to mention that the University of Alabama has suspended all activities and operations for the rest of this evening. That includes all final exams that were happening that were originally scheduled for 7 p.m. Those have been canceled. So again, the University of Alabama canceling all activities and operations for the rest of this evening. Also, the University of Alabama at Birmingham, UAB, has suspended school for the rest of the evening. The hospital, however, UAB Hospital, remains operational at this hour. Live in the newsroom, I'm Lynn Brooks. Let's take it back to Richard Scott.
All right, thanks, Lynn, for that update with the closings and some of those shelters folks can go to across Alabama. Now, I want to show you this. This is a picture from Louisville, Mississippi, and this is one of the storms that's actually making a direct heading towards Pickens and southern Lamar counties in the next hour. And it's a slow mover, but it is moving that direction. If it holds together, it will be moving in that area sometime around 6 or 6:30 for Pickens County. So just a heads up for you, this is what's coming your way. This is damage from that, and this is why we want you in that safe place, because if a tornado like this comes over your house, you got to be in that safe place, otherwise the risk of survival will go down. So again, if you're watching us in West Alabama, just a heads up that there's a potential for a tornado that's going to be moving in the general direction of Pickens County and Lamar County. So again, just a heads up, watch out. We got a potential for a tornado there. That's going to be moving in your area. So let's go back over to the watch warning map. There's a tornado watch across much of northwest Alabama, and that includes, again, Sumter County, Greene County, Tuscaloosa County, and Walker County, Coleman County's points northwest. We also have the red polygons you see there. That's the tornado warnings, and again, there's one for the far northern part of Lamar County and much of Marion County. That includes Hamilton, Detroit, Hackleburg, areas like that. There's more tornado warnings back in Mississippi, one down around Jackson, one that we're really concerned about, the supercell right here in East Mississippi. And then we got some tornado emergencies with tornadoes on the ground up around the Athens area near Huntsville for far north Alabama, kind of north of Huntsville there. There's several tornadic storms across Alabama. And if you're watching us along Interstate 20, things are pretty quiet right now, so hang on. This stuff is coming your way. It's just going to take a little while to get to you. This is going to be one of those long-duration events. It takes a while before it officially gets to you. So what do you need to do? Lowest floor of your home. We keep harping this. It's very important. Keep this in mind. Go to the lowest floor of your home. Get away from windows. Small interior room. We want you in a closet or a bathroom, something that doesn't have windows. Now, you got to get out of a car, and we do not want you in a mobile home. That's very, very important. If you're in a car or mobile home and you get hit by a tornado, the chance of survivals are really small. So out of a car, out of a mobile home. We don't tell you that to scare you. We just want you to know if a tornado moves over you and you're in a car or a mobile home, you may not survive a tornado. So very important information. We got temperatures still in the low 80s in Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, down towards Utah, Linden. 85 over in Clanton. The atmosphere really primed for severe weather right now, and that will continue to be the case this evening. Dew points in the 60s right now, upper 60s, which means there's lots of moisture available for the thunderstorms. Not only is there severe weather threat, there's a significant flash flooding threat across Alabama tonight. So that's going to be another issue, flash flooding. Wind out of the south, and that's a favorable component for tornadic rotation. If you get a wind out of the southwest, the tornado threat will lessen, but right now our winds are out of the south, which is a favorable motion for tornado development. So keep that in mind. If the winds are out of the south, you get that extra shear, that kick to get storms rotating. Here's the system itself. The core of the low pressure up here north of Springfield, Missouri, and Joplin, Missouri, that's where the low is itself. That's tracking off in a southeast direction. That's fueling these thunderstorms now with the energy. That's the energy part of the system. And this is what's kicking off everything across the southeast. Really a big mess across Alabama. Lots of updates on Facebook, Twitter, our weather blog. Go to WVUA-TV.com, click on weather blog. If you have any weather pictures, send us those. Obviously, we don't want you in harm's way, but if you get a picture of anything, send that to us through Twitter, Facebook, or email. Really easy to find us there, weather@WVUA-TV.com. Also, you can send those to our Facebook page and Twitter page. We want to see those to kind of get an idea of what's happening. Again, this picture is back in Louisville, Mississippi. Extensive damage back here in Mississippi. This is stuff like this. That's why we want you in that safe place if we have a tornado develop over Alabama. So we always want you in your safe place because stuff like this can happen, folks, and we all know that. We've been through tornado events. Most of us out there have been through quite a few tornado events over the years. Here's a radar loop, and this is, we're just getting some information over in Limestone County, really significant damage up that way, and that's over in the Huntsville market. That's very sad to hear that information because you don't want these things to actually produce tornadoes. I would much rather have nothing happen than the threat for loss of life and property because, trust me, I understand what it's like to lose everything to a tornado. I don't want you to go through that too. So hang in there, folks. We're going to get through this event. We'll go back over to radar because we still have a couple of really serious storms in Spinks. It looks like the Storm Prediction Center has put out something new. You want to check on that pretty quick.
Absolutely.
We may have another watch coming out. But, all right, one area of concern in our area, and that's in our coverage area. There's other storms of concern back in Mississippi, like this one right here that's tracking just like that, that will move into northern Pickens and then southern Lamar County within an hour. So other storms are watching out there. But let me zoom you into the one of real concern. The reason we're nonstop right now is because of a tornado warning for Lamar and Marion County. And the circulation itself is completely into Marion County. Really a little suspicious area here. What looks like it could be possibly debris here, but we haven't had any confirmation of a tornado. We're going to look at some other sources here in a minute. There's Hamilton. Here's where your tornado would be if there's a tornado there. Highway 78 runs down to Jasper, runs out the state line here. We don't want you driving on Highway 78 or the I-22 corridor, the new corridor that's been built. We don't want you driving along that. This is a tornado warning that includes Hackleburg and Hamilton in Marion County. Lamar County, you're now okay with this storm, all right? You see Detroit, you're still under the warning. That red polygon box, that means a tornado warning, but you are okay with this one storm. There's other storms coming, but if you're in Lamar County, this one storm has moved out of the county. So if you're watching us in, say, Lamar County and northern Pickens, heads up, there's more coming, all right? Marion County, Hamilton, you're under the gun. This storm's moving just like that, off in the northeast direction. There's Hackleburg. We all know what Hackleburg went through on April 27th. I can't say there is or is not a tornado here. We don't have reports yet, but I will say this. It's a dangerous thunderstorm. All right, looks like state troopers are reporting a multi-vortex tornado on the ground here that's just north of Detroit heading for Hamilton. We're talking about the suspicious area. There's a confirmed tornado on the ground with this, according to law enforcement, moving right towards Hamilton. So if you're watching us in Hamilton, you've got to get in that safe place. It's a very dangerous situation. This tornado is on the ground. It's heading towards Hamilton. Next up, I hate to say it, next up is Hackleburg, okay? If you're watching us in Hamilton, Hackleburg, got to get in that safe place right now. And if you're from Hackleburg, you know you can survive tornadoes. You know what to do to survive tornadoes. You got to get underground if you can. You got to get in that lowest floor interior room. You can survive this one, okay? If it does hit you, and it looks like it's moving right towards you. Hackleburg, Hamilton, be in your safe place right now. Let me look at some other sources here. We're going to pull up velocity. And all right, we got a tornado emergency coming out. This is real stuff, folks. We got a tornado emergency coming out for Marion County. We want you in your safe place right now. All of Marion County, everybody in Marion County. I don't care where you live, unless you're down towards Ewan and Winfield, you're okay. But everybody else, get in a safe place now. All right, here's the tornado emergency. Spinks, what's the information on that?
Yeah, the tornado emergency is in the process of being issued right now by the National Weather Service. This runs until 6:15 local time, so roughly the next 45 minutes. If you are in Marion County, this is a tornado emergency, a very dangerous and potentially life-threatening situation, especially right now if you're in the western portion of Marion County. Seek shelter right now. This includes Highway 78, which is the future Interstate 22 corridor, exit numbers 3 through 11. 7. But anyone in Marion County right now, from Hamilton up to Hackleburg, you've got to be in a safe place, lowest floor of your home, away from windows in the interior portion of your site-built home. If you're in a mobile home, you got to get out, because that's not a good place to be during tornadoes.
Yeah, this tornado is going to follow Highway 43 from Hamilton to Hackleburg. The tornado's down here just on the southwest flank of Hamilton at this hour. This is a deadly situation now, something we don't want to talk about, a deadly situation, but you got to take caution with this, because this is about as serious as it ever gets for Marion County. Again, we got a confirmed tornado right there. It's moving towards Hamilton. It looks like it's going to be really close to Hamilton, maybe out towards the Hamilton Airport, somewhere in that area. We cannot urge enough caution with this thunderstorm. It's a tornado emergency. There's a confirmed large, violent tornado with this thunderstorm, all right? There's Highway 43. There's 278. There's Highway 78. This tornado is going to be moving in this fashion right towards Hackleburg. We're getting a new scan. Again, a very strong indication of a tornado right there. You see that little patch of red, that darker color. That's likely debris we're seeing on radar. But again, this is a confirmed tornado on the ground right here, just outside of Hamilton, moving towards Hackleburg. In fact, let me zoom out of this thing quickly and show you a wide perspective of this. Let me pull up a menu. And real quick, I want to show you everybody else, because I know if you're watching us in Tuscaloosa or Birmingham, you want to know what's happening. Everybody else is okay right now. All right, we got one storm that's producing a large, violent tornado that's on the ground. We got another one back just southwest Columbus, Mississippi, that's heading for Lamar County and Pickens County. Heads up for you. All right, we got a tornado that's confirmed on the ground up around Athens, Alabama. That's a tornado emergency not far outside of Huntsville. So there's several storms producing tornadoes. Only one of those right now is in our coverage area, and that's going to be tracking very, very close.